In this video, I sit down and have a great and super valuable conversation with one of our students, Lauren. She has just really transformed from sort of solo videographer to true video business owner with a team that works in a much more collaborative way. As a videographer, it can be lonely, going to shoots by yourself, traveling alone, editing alone. You know how it goes, sitting in your cave for days or weeks on end. It can be lonely what we do. And Lauren just really had this transformation, this shift, where she went from feeling like she had to do everything on her own to now just completely embracing community. And in this video, you're really gonna learn how that changed her life. She went from literally no business to video business with recurring retainers, consistent, stable, cash flow and revenue every single month, which for most of us is the dream, to be able to do what we love and not be stressed about where our next paycheck is gonna be coming from. And doing it with people we love that we just have a ton of fun with. So we go deep into all this in this interview. I really think you're gonna like it. Let's just jump right in.
Things are going really well. I feel like I've actually sort of started looking more at growing my sort of collective. I would really like for the business to be a bit more of a team. So
Yeah.
I've been feeling really confident in where I'm at personally in the business, and now wanting to just like expand and create a group of people that are working together. I think being part of Creators University kind of helped me see the benefits of having other people collaborating, and um, it has felt like I've gotten a lot of that aspect of it through CU, because
Mm,
a lot of the work is a lot of solo kind of entrepreneurship, and having a community has just been like a huge part of it for me. I think that I was really needing that before I joined
mm,
CU. And once sort of tapping into that, I just am calling that in more and more, and
mm,
meeting so many like amazing people, and really seeing the benefit of bringing like different skills and talents and um, creative abilities together.
mm,
Um, so yeah, that's kind of like the my trajectory right now, is to just be really honing the skills a bit more too. I think that
mm.
like prior to CU, it felt like I kind of liken it to creating like baking a cake without a single recipe. Like I was before CU, I was just watching lots and lots of YouTube videos and trying to sort of piecemeal the business together, but it felt just like I was getting all these fragments of information and spending so much time just learning like how to edit in DaVinci Resolve, or how to set up
Yeah.
lighting, or set up a business. And then with Creators University, it felt like all of that was like a very well curated recipe that I could just follow. And I had no idea that the community side of it was going to play such a huge part like that.
Mm,
Uh, I think having the initial like proper scaffolding for a business that came from the training was super crucial, because at the beginning it's a lot of like um, you're practicing a lot of skills repetitively, and if you're not practicing those skills properly, then you're like actually creating bad habits. And I definitely sensed myself doing that. And
mm,
then with the program, it felt like I finally got all of the skills locked in, and then I could just keep practicing those things over and over, and picking up a couple retainer clients that really helped me just have that repetitive practice. And then the community side of it just felt like this very unexpected support system, and still does. Like I don't miss a
mhm.
single comment or
I know,
something
it's awesome. I
posted.
love to
Like,
see it.
yeah, I get so much out of that, and I feel like everything that somebody contributes to that Slack channel benefits me in some way. And oftentimes it's in a surprising way that I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I should be thinking about um, having, using color grading in this way, or that I
Mhm.
should consider opening up a bank account, which I just did, or like,
Nice.
yeah, like little things like that that just are constantly reminding me of the um, ways in which I can continue to grow. And like, for example, this past week, I've been for 2 months editing with this huge timeline gap that I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it.
Mhm.
And I searched on YouTube, I've been talking in forums, and then I was like, oh, I should just ask the CU crew. And community showed up. It was a Saturday, like most people are logged out of our Slack channel and taking a break, but two people commented, and I was almost in tears by just the gratitude I felt for having this community that is supporting in all these little micro decisions and ways that are like, it's almost like we speak a different language than anyone else, and in the community we have the ability to speak with other people who are fluent in that same language. If that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
So
think like,
good.
yeah, like having that the sort of ability to at any moment, like basically 24/7, have hundreds of people who know the same language be able to speak to, and also be super inspired by, like, the community feels like a a place of like keeping me going. A lot of like the
Sure.
nitty-gritty times or the hard times that I've
Yeah.
had where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna pay rent, and like, is this really gonna work? And just seeing other people continuously following the systems and it working out for them. Um, I think that just reinforces the belief that you need to have at the beginning in order to actually follow through with the recipe that you have so well crafted, and um it without like having that feedback from people that are being successful with it. It seems like you kind of want to see the proof in the pudding, and when you're getting that constantly, it just
Yeah.
gives you that reinforcement and confidence, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
So good. There's so many good things in there that I would love to unpack. But I just want to first say I'm so stoked for you and proud of you. And you have been showing up, and the fact that you are in the community, and you've worked through the highs and the lows, and um, you've came out on top, and I'm sure it feels like you're just getting started now too, because you really are, even though you've succeeded a lot, like you're really just getting started still. Just want to like recognize you for a second and applaud you for the hard work and the fact that you've shown up, and all that, and you've been a really awesome and valuable member of the community. And so these are, yeah, we love working with people like that. So um, you said something about kind of this topic that I'd love to hear a little bit more about, of like this concept of like not being just this solo business owner trying to figure everything out on your own, not having people in your corner to talk to, versus now you've had this shift, not only in like the terms of, oh, I value community in terms of like coaching and my personal growth, but now you're even like embracing that in your business, and you're wanting to build more of a collective and more of a team. And it sounds like you've had this paradigm shift, if you want to call it that, almost, of like going from this solo business operator freelancer type thing to this, you know, um, true like business owner and operator that is pulling in other people and giving opportunity to other people and just building something bigger. So I'd love to hear a bit more about that, because that's a shift we see a lot, and that we really want to help people with, is exactly that, is moving from just this solo, you're doing everything on your own, you're in your own head, you don't have anyone to talk to about anything, you kind of fear competition a little bit versus embracing it. It's kind of just like this you in this corner trying to do everything on your own versus this totally different thing over here of embracing competition and embracing collaboration and trying to connect with more people and bring more people on board and share the pie. And that is like a really empowering shift to happen. And that is going to really allow your growth to just skyrocket. You no longer become the bottleneck. So yeah, I heard you kind of mention that, and I didn't want to just graze over it because it was really good stuff and really quick too regarding what you're saying about like the value of community and all that stuff, and the course and our processes also being helpful. It's like we always hear from students that they come for the course, they come for the strategy, they come to learn how to generate more leads, they come to learn the how to, and then they stay for the community. Everyone always says like, I came for this and then I realized just how much more there was here and like wow, like the community, the support system, the ability to have people that help me build my confidence levels. Like that's the stuff that really made the big difference. But it's like a kind of like a table, like legs on a table. Like you kind of need everything for it to really work. Like you need the course, you do need the strategies, you do need the community as well as the coaching. And if you remove one of those legs, the table might topple over or it won't be as effective. Um, so yeah, I'd love to just hear you kind of like explain a bit more or share more on just like that shift that you had in terms of like really embracing community and collaboration, I guess.
Yeah, I think that through this whole process, I have come to the recognition in myself that this is business in all facets is really about communication or about connection, really. So to me, it feels like that is the ultimate goal. It's like
Mm,
creating connection, whether it's through creating connections within myself of recognizing what I'm capable of beyond what I thought I was capable of, or connecting with
mm,
other people, or connecting people with their goals, or connecting them with a solution to a problem. It's
mm,
like it all comes down to connection. And I don't think that I think that through Creators University, that became so much more evident to me because
mm,
I did come into it like kind of feeling like the sort of Instagram streaming and advertising of these types of programs can come across as being like very competitive, and the industry feels competitive. It feels to me like a very male dominated space and slightly intimidating in a sense. So I think that joining Creators University was a huge surprise to me in that there are so many super supportive people in this group, and like everyone wants to see each other succeeding here. And that was definitely, I wasn't fully expecting that, and I wasn't
mm,
um expecting a lot of the coaches to be encouraging us to do all of this networking and to really like get out into our communities to think of sales as a way of just creating relationships with people. All of those different sort of mindsets felt like it all comes back to just cultivating deeper relationships and connections, and that through support and collaboration we can achieve so much more. And um so yeah, I think that's like where it gets really exciting and juicy for me, is when it's like,
mm.
oh my gosh, now I'm working with I've now kind of hired on another woman to help me, and she is so organized and brings a lot of skills that I've been really needing to,
Awesome.
especially like the pre-production side of things.
Mm,
And she knows social media really well. So I'm bringing a lot of like my technical skills of using a camera and lighting and all of that, but she is we just are meshing so well, and it's like just so much more exciting to work in that way. And
yeah.
um, yeah, I think that having all of the course or all of the community classes that I was especially tapping into at the beginning, um, and just feeling like we're all in this together, we're supporting each other. It it's just so much more fun. Like it
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
is more fun.
simply put, it's just more fun too. I always say that. I always say business gets really fun when you start to build your team. When you start to do the things you love with the people you love. It gets really fun when you get to work with other people. And I think, yeah, I just think that what we do can be very lonely. I don't know, speaking for you, but just speaking for me in the beginning is like, we're having to wear a lot of hats. We're having to do a lot of things ourselves. We're doing all the client communication and the sales and the invoicing and then the shooting and you're rolling to shoot to the shoots by yourself and you're traveling by yourself and you're coming home and then you're locking yourself in your cave and you're editing by yourself. And I think a lot of us get really like lonely. And then and I think that comes from a place of a little bit of fear, at least in the beginning for me. It was like you have this fear of your competition. You want to keep all your secrets. And but the second that you embrace the opposite and you just become a person of value and you just, you know, extend your roots out a little bit more and you start to build those connections, like the world really opens up and you can really grow a lot faster. Comma, it's so much more fun. Like you said, I love how simple you put that. It's like, it's just more fun. Like business aside, it's more fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I
Yeah.
have to agree.
Today I just reached out to the local community here in Santa Barbara to see if anybody had a director's chair for a shoot I'm doing. And within minutes, somebody reached out just because of all of the networking I've done. And all of that was really encouraged through the program. Like I wasn't thinking to do that. For a
Mm,
year, I had been trying to start up a business and I wasn't really like looking for other filmmakers. I was thinking of them
sure.
as like they're doing their business, I'm doing mine. Like, what do we really have to share with each other? But now it's like I'm really tapped into the local community here as well. And um, it's just, yeah, it just feels so good. And so um, every time that one of those little connections are made, it just reaffirms why I'm doing this and
Mm,
is a bigger payoff than any paycheck that I've gotten. Like
mm,
I'm this week going to a lunch with a client that I had that was so excited about the work we did together that they wanted to take me and their photographer to lunch. And
yes.
I'm like so excited about the experience of just like being with other creative people and
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
That's the
really
name of the game. I love that.
yeah, yeah, it
That's
really
why
is
we do this.
I think that a lot like at the beginning it felt like I just need the paycheck right away.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
really on the
You got
line.
bills to pay. I get it.
Yeah. But then after a while you start making so much money doing this that to me it's been like a the most money I've ever made in my life has been this year
Mm,
as an entrepreneur, which is incredible to me. And but at some point it feels like you start to realize that oh it's actually not even really about that, like that is wonderful, but once you have that momentum financially it becomes about really about the relationship building and
hmm.
thing um and just creating a better product. Like now I just am so focused on creating the best product and service I possibly can, uh which is also a really exciting place to be. Like I've gotten a
Yeah.
lot of the basics down and now it's like just wow, I can actually become the filmmaker that I've always dreamed of being. So,
Yeah. And I think what you just said is even more valuable than you might think. Um, I just had a very similar conversation with Jeff E. Last week, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, when I joined, I just, I needed to make money. I had bills to pay. That's all I was focused on. But then once I was able to overcome that and like get some money going and I could pay my bills and I was good, that's when the real growth started to happen because then you start to focus on the important stuff that is going to make you more money. When you're so focused on just getting a deal to pay the bills or you're in that almost like I guess I will say it like lack mindset where you're just sort of aiming for the bare minimum, it's going to keep you getting results at a minimum, at the bare minimum. Your goal is kind of like you have small goals, small results, right? But then once you're good and like your bills are paid and then you start to just really fall in love more with the process and everything, and it starts to become fun. You have the shift in energy, you become more abundant, you think a little bit more abundantly because you're not so scared of losing out on a deal. So then you come into these deals with more confidence, and because you have more confidence, you're going to close more deals. And yeah, it's like once you cross a certain point, which really isn't that hard to do at that point, once you get over a certain hump, then it's like sky's the limit. And that's when we hear these things. I hear this very common theme when I talk to students of like, you know, like I've accomplished so much more than I ever thought was possible. I didn't even know this was possible. I didn't even know I could make this much money doing this. Like I always wanted to, and it always sounded great, but I didn't know I actually could until I did. And now it's like, holy moly, I didn't even realize this whole world existed. I didn't, you know what I mean? So I think that was really valuable what you said there about, you know, once you got your bills paid, like you could focus on your craft and just the process. And then you started to have more fun. And then that's when things really started to, it sounds like snowball for you. So I think that's just a really valuable piece right there that I wanted to really highlight.
Yeah, and I think it's also kind of ironic that there is a small part of me that misses the beginning of this whole process. Like
Interesting.
sometimes
How
I'm like,
so?
I just like the newness
Hmm.
and I remember my first discovery calls. I was so nervous to get on them. And it was exhilarating to actually follow through with it. I think I did within the first couple months like 40 discovery calls and didn't land any of them. And like
Wow.
I was sending Adam all of my recordings and he was giving feedback and it was such like an exciting moment because it felt like it feels like at the beginning that's like the hardest
Oh
part,
yeah. Hmm.
just getting started and putting yourself out there, you in a place of not really having your own self-assurance yet.
Hmm.
And then it like it is every stage is exciting in its own way. And I think that also has been driving home the feeling of like just to be in whatever stage I'm at and really enjoying where I am rather than thinking of like a destination.
Mm.
Because probably in a year from now, I'm going to be missing this moment where I'm like building a team and
Hmm.
really like feeling excited about the craft of filmmaking. Whereas, a few months ago, it was just all about getting my first sale and
Mm.
um, you know, just the micro uh I think skills that you have to learn at the beginning. So yeah, it's just definitely like reaffirming that being present is and just really enjoying all of the process. Um yeah, and it's just
Is
more fun
really
to do.
quick, like really quick, is that like let's go back a year. Like, is that something you would ever have thought you would have been like thinking? Like, would you have been like I've seen your transformation. Like you said, you took 40 discovery calls. Didn't like I want to highlight that too. Like up until now in this video, if someone's watching it, they're gonna be like, oh, like, this is great, sounds good. But like you took 40 discovery calls before landing a single deal. Like it was, I think you're very humble and so you're making it seem easy. But I know I've seen you go through the highs and the lows, and I've seen you, push through and put in that work. And um, like, yeah, it's just crazy to see your transformation in still in the grand scheme of things in a relatively short amount of time. But like when I asked that question a second ago, you were like shaking your head. Like, tell me more about like how your mindset and mentality of all this has just like changed since being here.
Yeah, I remember when I looked at my bank account, I had just paid the second portion of the Creators University amount, which was like everything I had in my bank account.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
so I was already doing full-time videography
Hmm.
and I wasn't successful in landing clients at all. Like I didn't have a process for it and didn't really know how to make sales yet.
Hmm. Hmm. Why
So
we're here.
yeah, like I mean, that portion of it was huge for me. Doing those 40 or so, probably more discovery calls was just like at some point it just became like second nature to do those types of calls. But I did feel like I remember taking a picture of my bank account statement because I was like, someday I'm going to be on a call with Connor and I'm going to be like, this is like proof that I literally
Wow.
was at zero. Like, I don't know how I'm going to pay rent and
Wow.
afford anything in my life. And it it just took one client that yeah, I went through the whole process. I had the coaches helping me. Like every day I was contacting them for support, and they really helped me like craft the proposal and just take that client through every step. It was a long process, but then I signed a retainer for 3.5K per month. And that was like to finally have consistent income on a monthly basis and be able to be practicing the skill multiple times a month, like producing, um, 5 videos per month was like the exact kind of, I think, stepping stone that I needed. And that was huge for me. That paid off, that paid all of my bills for the month so that I was actually saving money and
Hmm.
being able to invest more money in gear, and gave me the confidence to take on more clients, helped my portfolio. And yeah, it was just after that it just felt like the momentum was there.
Hmm.
And that's super crucial. It's just having that momentum, because just like being in a flow state with editing, I feel like life is like a flow state, and that to kind of hit that sweet spot, just you don't even have to make sales anymore. It's like they're just
Hmm.
coming to me now. I barely am reaching out anymore, and it's just
Yeah.
they're calling
Yeah.
me. So
That's
yeah,
alignment right there. That's
yeah.
alignment. Like it just sounds like you're very aligned with your work, with your process, with yourself. And when all those things come together through hard work, again, like you put in the work to get to this point, you get aligned and it almost business starts to almost feel easy in a way. And it starts to, wow, feel fun. Like, and not just like stressful and like full of anxiety and like what you're used to, but like, wow, this is actually, I see why people do this now. And I'm sure that's really empowering. And speaking of empowering, you like you touched on earlier, coming in, in a male dominated industry as a woman, like I would love for you to speak a little bit more on that because I'm sure this is really inspiring, um, for any women that are going to watch this.
Hmm. Yeah, I think, I mean, what originally got me excited about making video content is watching male surf documentaries as a kid with my
Mm,
brothers. So for me, it's always been slightly connected to being part of like slightly like a brotherhood. And
mhm,
um the like surf culture back then was very male dominated, and I
mhm,
was super inspired by all those films. But a part of me knew that there was a way that as a woman I could share my unique creativity through this medium. And that's what really inspired me. I was like, I want to do all those surf trips and go to Indonesia on a boat, and I want to film it, but in a way that I'm not seeing presented in this industry.
mm,
And so I think that there's like a huge opportunity for women. And women are like, there's so many men in this industry that I think we're seeing a lot of the same types of content, because not because there is so much diversity, but there's like this opportunity for the female perspective and storytelling and
yeah.
creative offering that is to me like super exciting. And there's also there are so many women that are now in decision making positions in business that
Mhm,
they are also seeking to support other women entrepreneurs. And I've many of my clients now are women, and I think that they particularly maybe hand choose me because I'm a unique kind of anomaly in the
Yeah.
industry. Like, so, um, so there's that part of it. And then there's also the fact that, like, yes, that there are a lot of men in this industry, and there are a lot of really incredible men. Like
Mm,
the Creators University community, uh, I definitely was a little bit tentative, like, oh, is this going to be just like a bunch of guys, and
sure.
are they going
Yeah.
to like accept me into the crew? And I feel super supported through all of the different types of people, men and women in the group. And I just am so impressed with the way that the men are showing up and supporting women. And
Mm,
particularly, it feels like, um, I don't know, maybe this is just my perception, but particularly feel supportive of us. And it's, I
yeah.
think,
We need more of you. That's why. I think everyone, a part of our mission in CU is to empower more women in the industry because, like you said, you also bring very unique skill sets to the table that we need desperately. And I think whenever a really talented, you know, when really talented women come into the program, everyone gets pumped because we need, everyone's in line with that mission and we need more of you guys. And um, yeah, I talk to women in the DMs on Instagram and just online every day that feel the exact same way that you felt when you joined. Um, and so I just think this is gonna be super empowering for them to hear because, no matter what I say, I'm biased, right? It's like, oh, well, you don't get it, you know? Um, and so, yeah, we just need more of you. And I think this is gonna be, yeah, like shout it from, the rooftops, shout it on your social media, like put it out there that more women need to get into this industry because um, yeah, of course, I can't speak too much from your perspective being male. But like you said, I completely agree. There's so much opportunity for women in the industry right now. Not only that, but your clients and your fellow creatives need you. And so, yeah, this is like something that I've become really passionate about in CU is building that female community of, creatives and empowering you guys and bringing more into the industry. Like it's really become quite a bit, a big part of our mission. So that makes me even more excited to be speaking with you and even more excited to see you, quote unquote, overcoming the odds, right, in a male dominated industry. And now you're coming on here and saying, I have more power than maybe not, but like I have more power than the dudes. I
yes,
have unique like,
always.
and that's so cool to hear, and it's so true. And more people, more women need to hear it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So,
And I think that,
yeah.
like, when I first I see a lot of men creating courses of teaching this art and the business side of things as well. And when I saw you in particular, Connor, I felt like there was something much more gentle about you and
Hmm,
much more personable and approachable. Like I felt like I just feel like you
interesting.
could be like a friend instead of like somebody who's trying to sell me something, or like a pushy dude. Like you
Sure.
just seem like a cool guy that's down to earth and has similar interests as me. And I immediately, in having my sales or the discovery call with Adam, was so impressed with Adam's attentiveness to my
Hmm,
feelings on that call. And I was not at all expecting to sign up for the course. Like I was kind of just hoping to get more free, like,
sure.
up.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Did you really come here?" He kind of called me out. He was like, "Did you really come here for to just keep pushing this off? Or are you ready to
Wow.
really do this?"
Yeah.
And I actually ironically like feel like I needed that male,
Hmm.
um sort of like the masculine
Hmm.
accountability in a sense too, of um like stop being so over analytical about just starting this business. And so I think that these two energies are super important, and we need both of them. Like in this industry, there's we're going to be so much more interesting and creative and exciting with the combination of the masculine and feminine. So yeah, I feel like this is a call to all my sisters of like, yeah, come on, let's go. Like this is, yeah, this is
Yeah.
so fun. And the men here in this space are really here to support, um and women are here to support each other as well. And like we want to work with you.
Yeah. We want, yeah, let's
Work
make it happen.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mic drop. No, so good, Lauren. Yeah, this is so fun. Um, I just I can't express enough like just how proud I am of you and how far you've come, like for real. And I appreciate that you saw that in my content, and for some reason I spoke to you or stood out to you, or and yeah, it's like this mix of I think at the end of the day, we all just want the best for our students here. That's how I am. That's how the whole team is. That's how Adam is. Miguel, we've all been through these things before ourselves, not once, not twice, probably dozens of times, and we just want the best for you. So with that, we're not afraid to tell you what we know that you need that you may not know you need yet. We're here to help you, and along the way we'll have fun doing it, we'll become good friends, but at the end of the day we're here to help. um and it's just, yeah, it's so this is one of my favorite things I get to do, is these big full circle moments with students, because it's so rewarding. And this is why we do what we do. It really is. And you're just getting started too. Like you still have so like you are now just, I think, starting to reach your potential. And now there are so many more glass ceilings that you are still going to go and shatter. There's still so many levels that you have no idea that you can reach yet. You're just now starting to really like believe in yourself and really have confidence and all these things, which is really cool to see. But you still have so far to go in the best of ways, like not in a bad way, obviously. Like you're just capable. We're just always so much more capable than we think, no matter what level we're at. So, yeah, all that to say, sorry,
Like
what were you going to say?
I just want to say thank you too. It makes I feel a little emotional right now because
Mm.
I do just feel super grateful to you and grateful to all of you that like have believed in me throughout this journey. And it's, yeah, it's been super life changing for me. And um I
No,
definitely
it's so good.
feeling
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna make me emotional too. This is why we do what we do. Um, it's so cool. But yeah, good stuff, Lauren. Thank you for hopping on today and chatting about all this. We could talk for hours, I'm sure. I hope you get to come to Oregon. Well, you are coming, but hopefully you get to come through Bend and we can all hang out.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be fun. But anyways, cool. Anything you kind of want to like, I don't know, wrap up with for now, or we've covered a lot. We've talked about community and the value of that and women in the industry. And I guess we haven't really even touched on it. I know you mentioned like the 3.5K retainer that you secured, but like what are really quick, like what are some of the big wins that you've had? Like if you're comfortable sharing those things, if not, I totally understand.
I think the two top wins for me are the 3.5K retainer. That's been huge just in having that consistent income. And then the other side of it, which feels more like passion, but I'm also getting paid really well for, is a 12.5K documentary that I'm going to be going down to Guatemala to film.
Mm, yep.
And I'm working with a big group of women on that, which is really exciting. There are, this is for a nonprofit, so it feels like very meaningful work, and it's really kind of like the dream type of project
Yeah.
I get to do. So those two are my most exciting ones, I'd say. I've also got a couple brand story videos that I'm working on. One with a local plastics to sticker company. They turn recycled waste into stickers, like promo
Nice.
stickers.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and lots of other little smaller projects, but I'm definitely getting excited for more of like the documentary kind of brand story documentary, mini documentary kind of work.
All right, so if you enjoyed this interview with Lauren and you want to continue learning, you want to learn more about the systems that she references in this video, and the things that have really helped her go from, you know, where she was as kind of that solo videographer to just this true video business owner and this video strategist, making money every single month with retainer clients, working with people she loves. Then I have a video linked right down below this video that I think you should go check out. It's just gonna go deeper into some of the processes and systems and steps that Lauren references in this video. If you have ambitions of going full-time in your video business or making this transformation from just kind of solo videographer to this true video business owner with a team, a video strategist making money every single month, then you're definitely gonna wanna check out that video below. All right guys, I will see you in the next one. Peace.